Hello and welcome to IB Times UK. The Turkish government has been carrying out airstrikes against Kurdish militants in northern Iraq following a series of attacks blamed on the Islamic State and the Kurdistan's Worker Party. We spoke with Mehmet Aksoy, activist and editor at The Kurdish Question, on the relations between Turkey and the Kurds, as Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan warned that the peace process is no longer possible following targeted attacks in Turkey blamed on Kurdish militants.
Kurdish issue, the Kurdish question, is maybe 150, 200 years old. It goes back to even before the formation of the nation states in the region. Kurds haven't been given or recognized their national rights. Their rights as being a community, a nation, a people, language, cultural, historical rights. So in different parts of Kurdistan, different movements have come about to basically gain these rights. And now in Turkish Kurdistan, or Turkey-occupied Kurdistan, the Kurdistan Workers' Party, the PKK, which is a 40-year-old movement, is fighting for what they call democratic autonomy. And that, coupled with the Kurds in Syria, who are also within the unity of the Syrian state, looking to gain more rights under what they call democratic autonomy, that the Kurds are an important factor in any political development. But they've been left for so many years without a voice, without representatives, and without organizations, that it's only now the Kurds can say we are a player, we are an actor in the developments in the Middle East. You've probably heard Salih Muslim, the PYD leader, recently said, we are open to joining the Syrian army in the fight against ISIS, but in the struggle to forming a democratic Syria for the future. And this is what the Kurds want in all the parts of Kurdistan as well. So the Kurdish movement isn't a separatist movement in that sense. It wants, or looks forward to, if you will, even a confederalist Middle East where the Kurds can have their rights, but the states that are currently in place don't have to be divided, which will only lead to more war if they are.
Turkey recently stepped in the fight against ISIS after being hit by attacks, including one that left 32 people dead in the town of Suruc earlier in July. However, Turkey's attacks soon start targeting Kurdish militants also involved in the fight against ISIS, triggering fears that the military campaign aims to curb Kurds' struggle for self-determination. Turkey's pro-Kurdish opposition, the People's Democratic Party, has accused Erdogan of ordering the airstrikes in revenge to the party's strong performance in June's election, which prevented Erdogan's Justice and Development Party from reaching the majority. Reports have also warned that a recent plan to establish a buffer zone along Turkey's border with Syria to counter ISIS is a cover to stop Kurdish rebels from forming their own state.
Turkey is basically trying to get the tide to swing in their favor, because in the eyes of public opinion, in the international media, states and international organizations, the Kurds have after their battle against ISIS, their resistance, have been gaining a positive image, basically, and that includes the PKK. So the latest agreement with the US for them to use the Incirlik military base against ISIS has given Turkey a joker card, if you will, into trying to turn that tide against the Kurds. But this won't work because the Kurdish issue will stand, and unless it's solved in a fair, a just way, where Kurds can even gain minimal national rights, the conflict will continue in the region. It will continue in Syria. It will continue in Turkey, because the Kurds are organized, they have military forces, and they have a national consciousness which has been created with especially the 40-year struggle of the PKK. So I think that there will be war, maybe for a short period of time, but the only place that they can return to is the negotiation table. We're in a situation where basically the AKP government have change their strategy, I think, for a short period of time, where they can say to the Turkish people and the Turkish public, look, we tried to find a resolution, however, the PKK won't allow it, they're terrorists, and the HDP are facilitating this. So we had to go back to military means, which means that the HDP can be left under the 10% threshold, and the AKP can form a one-party government once again and evolve the system in Turkey into a presidential system where Erdogan is at the top of that presidential system, and then they can try to resolve the Kurdish question based on oppressing the Kurds even further.